Hi everyone, and welcome back to Beautiful Leaf Homestead. My name is Selena, and today we're going to be talking about pumpkins. So I have just harvested my first pumpkin out of the garden. This is a little pumpkin. We have two sets. We have the little pumpkins and we have the jack-o'-lanterns. So this is our first of the little ones. So what we're going to be making today is a pumpkin pie filling out of this pumpkin, and I'm going to show you how we can do that. Okay, so stay tuned. We're going to get everything prepped and we're going to start cleaning up this pumpkin. Okay, so we're going to prepare our pumpkin. I wanted to talk to you guys about setting up your station. So what we need to get our pumpkin cut and prepped before it hits the oven is going to be a cutting board. I recommend underneath your cutting board, these are from the dollar store. They're for drawers not to slip. Really easy. You put it underneath your cutting board and it's going to help your cutting board not to slide as much. Okay, so these are really good. Some people like the little rings. They're rubber rings that can go underneath. It's totally your preference and your choice, but I like these. They're easy. You can wash them and you just put them underneath. You put your cutting board on top. I always like to just press it quickly and it's ready to go. So this is something I definitely recommend. You're going to need a knife. You're going to need a spoon to scoop out the strands and the seeds. I have a bucket here. I like always having a bucket in front of my station. This way I could put any remnants that I don't want into the bucket. I'm going to be putting all of the strands into here, so like the guts of the pumpkin. I'm going to be putting it into here as well as the seeds. I'm going to be drying out the seeds because I'm going to save them for next year to plant. But you can dry out the seeds to eat. Some people like pumpkin seeds. There's lots of different things you could do with pumpkin seeds. So I do recommend saving them. Like I said, you can either make them so that you can eat them, or like you can do with me, and you can put them out in your garden next year. So it's a great thing. I just like having that. Instead of having to always open the garbage and wash your hands, it's just easier to have it right here in front of you. Another thing we're going to need is a baking pan. And you can use parchment paper, but I have these silicone mats. And I like these because I'm trying to be a little more eco-friendly. And these, all I have to do is wash and I can reuse over and over and over again. You just want to make sure that when you're using this, you don't use your knife on this. Because if you use the knife on this, it ruins it. Like, there's nothing you can do after to save it. But these are great. They're just like parchment paper. You put them on your pan and you can bake off these. Great for cookies, something like the pumpkin going on it. Candy, if you're making candy or anything like that. But these are great and they're reusable, so it means that once you buy this, you're not going to have to buy tons of rolls of parchment paper. So if you're a baker like I am or a cook like I am, and you're going to use a lot of parchment paper, these might be a good investment. I actually got these at the dollar store. It was a rare find at the dollar store. I was surprised I found them. I made sure to grab them because it's one of those things that you're always going to use. Anyways, I got a couple of those, but I wanted to show you guys. So to prepare your pumpkins to go into the oven, preheat your oven at 350. Once we cut open the pumpkin and we put it on the tray and it's ready to go, it's going to be about an hour to an hour and a half until the fork can go through this skin. It's ready to go. So I'm gonna get this pumpkin ready, and I'm gonna show you how we can do that. So you have your pumpkin. I've already rinsed this off just because there is dirt. There was still some dirt. I got this from, like I said, from the garden outside, so it's a good idea just to quickly give it a wash. Okay, so we're gonna take off the stem. So it just pops right off, so that's that. Again, I have that bucket in front. Okay, so now you want a decent knife. So I sharpened this one. So what you're gonna wanna do is right down the middle, you're gonna go down into it, okay? then go down on one side. So hold it on the other side, go down, okay? And then we're gonna take the knife out, we're gonna spin it around, and you're gonna do it again. Go down, and then down like that, okay? The bottom won't be fully done, so we're gonna take the knife out again. You're gonna go to that seam, you're gonna go halfway through, and you're gonna go down. And because it's already partially out, it'll be really easy to go through. So now you have your two halves. And inside you've got those guts and these seeds and different stuff. So you want to take this out. So you're going to be scooping this out because what you want for your puree is actually this beautiful kind right here. So this is fresh right out of the garden. You could, if you're doing the garden stuff, you can leave these sitting on the side to work on, but I needed to make this right now. But anyways, you could leave them and they'll be fine. But we're gonna take out the innards and then we're gonna put it on the baking sheet and we're gonna put it in the oven. So just take your spoon and go around. I like to make circles because then I can get them out in like little spears. I know some people will say you can even do it with ice cream scoop if you want it. I just use a spoon. Okay, so we've hollowed out our innards and now all we're gonna do is on our sheet. I only need one of these sheets, but on our cookie sheet, make sure that's on. We're just gonna flip these upside down. That one there. So that's all you're gonna do. Into the oven at 350 for about an hour to an hour and a half. And like I said, what you're gonna do is just to make sure you're gonna put your fork in it, see if it's done. And if it is, great. If not, just leave it a couple more minutes and until that fork can pierce right through. Okay, and then when this is out, we will talk about how to get this ready for puree. Hey guys, so our pumpkins are out of the oven. I'll just give you a quick look. So they're nice and golden, still a little bit warm, but they're nice and golden. We poked our fork in and they're tender, so the fork went right through. But yeah, I want to show you how now to get the outer peel off. So there's a few ways of doing it. You can either go in here and scoop it out, or you can cut on the outside and you can take your tip of your knife and you can go right under the skin and you'll see your knife slightly through it and you just kind of trim away at the skin. So you'll have chunks like that you can just pull off. But yeah, so we're gonna take off all the skin to both of them. We're gonna put it into a bowl. So the innards we're gonna put into a bowl and then we're gonna mash it. There's two ways of doing this. You can either do it by electric. So you can do blenders. This is the hand blender. You can do a real blender, food processor, anything. Or if you don't have any of that stuff and you don't feel like going out and buying it because you're only doing this once in a while, you're going to see if you like doing this type of stuff, a hand masher, potato masher. You don't need to go out and buy all the cool gadgets and everything to be able to do some of these meals. So don't feel obligated that you have to go out and buy the fanciest stuff. You can do it with just this. All you have to do though is if it gets a little hard when you're mashing and it's hard, add just a tap of water. And that way when you're mashing, it will be a little easier to do it. But like I said, you don't have to go buy all the fancy stuff. If you see yourself doing this a lot, yes, by all means, maybe a hand blender or a real blender or a food processor might be best for you. But don't feel obligated to do it. You can do almost every recipe you can do it with hand tools. They did in the old days with hand tools and they still made the same stuff. So it can't be that hard to do. But yeah, so we're gonna get the skin off. We're gonna put it in the bowl, we're gonna mash it up, and I'll show you how then to store your puree if you wanna make your pie maybe tomorrow. But you don't have to make it right away. You can just save the puree and use it the next day. Okay, so we have our puree. I just used the hand masher. If you notice there's a lot of clumps to it and they're not mashing well, just add a bit of water. I had to add 1 spoon of water. This pumpkin was really easy. That's why when you stick your fork in after it's been in the oven, that's the reason, because the softer that is, it allows it to be easier to mash. That's not being said that you leave it in there longer just to try and get it softer, because that can burn, it can make it very, the taste will be changed. So just stick with the either an hour to an hour and a half range for cooking, and then just add a little bit of water. If this has become a little too watery, just strain it either through a strainer or a cheesecloth or whatever you have. But to store this, if you're not going to use it immediately, you can put it in the freezer. It can stay up about a month in a plastic Ziploc freezer bag. Just put it in about halfway. Then you're going to want to make sure all the air is out. So when you get to about the point where the air is completely out, just at the bottom where you're zipping it up, just make sure that that is very airtight. Then zip it up. So use your hand to push down, zip it up, and then put it in the freezer. It can last about a month. If you're going to use it, let's say tomorrow, you can just put this in a container, put it in your fridge, and use it tomorrow. Just let it kind of warm up to room temp, or just before room temp, just so that when you're mixing your ingredients in, it'll be pliable to work with. So, but yeah, other than that, that's your pumpkin puree. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button below. Feel free to leave a comment of other stuff you would like to see. We will be posting a video for the pumpkin pie, actually taking this puree and adding it to the pie. So there will be a video soon with that. I'll be working on that very, very shortly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it shows you another way of using your pumpkin. So have a great day, everyone.